little bit of that, and you never know where we're coming
Because
from. What's
I
up,
know
everybody?
what's up. I know where I'm coming from. I'm coming from South Carolina. You're
I'm
coming from
coming on.
Cali.
Yeah, California.
Yeah.
Just like our guest. Ooh. But
Ooh.
before we get to that, this show is made possible by Willow Seasoning. Where's my video? I got to show you this one because it's just perfect. There's also two sauces, a mustard sauce, Colorado Gold 1859, and Sweet Thing barbecue sauce, both money. I just did some barbecue pork cooked with that sweet heat right there.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Cut it all up and put it in some egg rolls and then dipped it in the sweet thing.
Ooh,
Oh, bud, I'm telling you.
man.
In fact, I have some more pork because I found a deadly combination, dude. It is
Look,
absolutely, to me, it's phenomenal.
you want to tell your
That
secret?
that Bacon's Japanese, the original Japanese barbecue sauce, like
Mm-hmm. Yep.
the white and red.
I just picked up
Yeah,
a big bottle today.
yeah. Okay, it's money, by the way.
Yeah.
Sweet heat and that on pork, next level, bro. Next level.
Say less.
Yeah. So it's absolutely ridiculous. We
Yeah, that was
also,
shot.
yeah, also it's fire on pork belly too, by the way. Um, yeah, that was how we happened upon that. Me and my
I got you.
buddy had some pork belly strips and did those, and then I was like, I gotta revisit this. So I had some pork roast. One I think is either a cheek or a belly, part of the belly, because it said bacon on the package.
Right.
And I mean that's from the pigs we butcher, so it's like
Yeah,
sometimes it doesn't get labeled perfectly, and
that's right.
but it was like needed to be cooked now
Mm-hmm.
pretty soon, and so I threw in the marinade, and I'll cook it to either after the show or tomorrow. So
That's interesting.
it's good.
Yeah, I passed up on a huge pork belly today, and I was like, I can't eat all that pork belly. Just I'm gonna leave it right there for a while.
Well, dude, this is what you do: is you get the huge slab of pork belly,
Yeah,
and then listen, you cut up a piece, like a little piece amount you want for burn ends or whatever,
right.
and the rest of it you section out into decent little sections, and then
Yeah.
we'll teach you how to cure it into bacon, dude.
Well, yeah, I
You
didn't even
will,
think of that. I did not even think of
you,
that.
yeah, dude. It's so hard to buy store bought. I only buy store bought bacon if I want to wrap something. That's it. Period.
Gotcha. I didn't even think of that. You just
Or unless it's Fricks and Family Farms beef bacon.
yes, that's a whole different level.
Where can we get that?
I don't know where can we get that at?
So we got a thing going on with Fricks and Family Farms. It's another huge Dude Network sponsor, friend, and we paired up with them to do this stupid cool barbecue box with some cool cuts, and we're gonna play a video of Tony showing you what's up.
What's up, dudes and dudettes? The Dude Box is here. Fricks and Family Farms, the ultimate collab. We worked together with them to create the ultimate barbecue experience. Beef short ribs. That's right. Dinos. Look at the marbling. You also get a tri-tip. And the point of this was we wanted to get really cool cuts that not everybody can get. So you can get all the cool cuts like this picanha. You ever done beef cheeks? Well, you can now. So you not only get all this jerky, bang, 2 pounds of beef bacon, and then also our good friend Willow is in on this box as well. So you get all of this good stuff, $1.99, free shipping to most states, and best yet, we're coming up with a cookbook. That's right, 10 recipes coming up from our friends here at the Dude Network. All the dudes, we're going to contribute some recipes. So this box gets you all this and our first ever cookbook. Can't wait to see how this all turns out. Get on this action, folks. Go check them out at Fricks and Family Farms. The link's in the bio. We'll see you soon.
Money.
Dude, crazy.
I mean,
We'll do a quick comment recap, see who's all in here. Robert Race, of course. Hey, that's actually pretty late for Robert. I
Yeah,
can't believe I
Robert.
didn't beat him.
Was you sleeping?
T. Carmack, sorry about Thursday. Rev was snowed in, and I apologize to everybody for us dropping the ball and not getting that out. Hey, our buddy Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Nombre.
What's up, buddy?
Decals and Designs, Masshole Chef. What's up? All right, now let's get down to the real reason we're all here.
That's right. Why everybody come?
So
Nice.
we got with. I mean, his name has barbecue in it, but the dude's a foodie. Like he's got to be a pizza freaking genius by now. All the pizza I've seen this guy do. We're gonna get down to the bee's knees and actually find out how many pizza ovens he owns, hopefully. And I mean, it's next level. The dude's energy is amazing. There's also a secret we're going to hopefully get him to talk about to us. One of his other hobbies, his second love, as he says, which is like mind blowing to me too.
Me too.
But he's the man who's always saying, "Smoke on, baby." The governor himself, Ukulele J.
Smoke on, baby.
Yes.
How you guys doing, man?
Good. How are you?
brother?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me on tonight. Great Sunday night to be with you guys hanging out.
I
Yeah,
appreciate you
super
coming.
juiced. Hang on a second. There you go. Whoop.
A little roller coaster.
Man, so what are you up to, man? How's it going?
It's going great, man. Been busy, a lot of cooking, doing a bunch of content for my sponsors, and then my other second love, as you guys were saying, I was busy last week doing that, and I'm looking at everything. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday this week might happen again, but I gotta wait. I gotta wait and see what the models look like. But yeah, so it's been
That's so
busy. And
crazy.
my real job, my real job. So between all that, it's busy. And keeping a wife happy. That's also another good thing.
Yeah.
So.
That's right.
So that's what you do in real life then, or for your job?
No. So for my job,
Oh.
I actually I'm actually a CEO for a IT consulting company.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
that's out of San Francisco, and then my social media stuff is kind of like the other part of my life, and then of course.
Yeah.
If I've got time and everything's right, then I'll do my thing. You guys probably saw last week when I went live
Oh yeah.
in the valley. So yeah,
That blew my mind. So.
yeah. Surprising. A lot of people don't know, but I've been doing it for a long time, and I was in Nebraska and Kansas last year, and we caught 3 tornadoes there last year, so it was pretty fruitful. And that was actually the first. That was the first. The second day we went, and after that, a huge cold front came through, which means there's no weather. So literally, we're supposed to go for 2 weeks. We were done in 2 days. We literally packed up and went home. Day number 3. We saw there's not going to be anything. So
yeah. It's all. Hey, here it is. Pop. Okay, we're done.
that was it. Yeah. And we had a guy fly out all the way from Europe that was supposed to meet us and chase with us.
Oh, crazy.
Wow.
He got there on day 3, and we're like, dude, you know what? There's nothing for 2 weeks at least.
Sorry, buddy.
Enjoy your vacation.
I felt so bad for exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was
right.
and he met us in Colorado, so we were actually in Denver. And I'm like, well, at least for some shit you can do in Denver, some good barbecue in Denver. There's a good
Yeah.
deli you go.
Dude, and Colorado's gorgeous almost everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So.
I grew up in Loveland, so about 50 miles north of Denver.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I love when I get back to Colorado. It's just a beautiful state, and
When did you?
I love everything about it.
When did you head west?
I moved out here in '82.
Oh, okay. You've been out here
Yeah.
for a while then.
Yeah, I've been out here for a while. So, but
What
I
brought
miss
out here to work?
no. At the time, I was with my parents. My folks moved out here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I moved out here with them, and ended up in Santa Rosa, California, and went to school there, and then went to law school, and I was in another career for a long time before I switched careers into IT, and retired early out of that job, and then went into technology full time, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So
Crazy. What a wild ride.
Yeah.
it's been interesting.
You got a lot of knowledge up under that hat of there.
Right.
Gotta keep it going.
We gotta we're gonna get to that too, Masshole, don't worry. How did this all come about? How'd you have you always cooked? You always been a barbecue guy? You a foodie? How did Ukulele J come to be?
So yeah, I've always been in a food and foodie and cooking. I actually grew up when I was really young in Southern California, and
Good.
I was a latchkey kid. Basically, literally had a key around my neck. This is before there were cell phones, everything else, and I lived literally a block from the elementary school. So my dad's blue collar, and he'd work late, and my mom was doing stuff, and so I'd be by myself. So I literally come home, open the door, this is back in the day when you didn't worry about your kid
Yeah,
walking home from
yeah.
school, shit, getting grabbed off the street. But I'd come home and Swanson's TV dinners, man. That was my first experience cooking my own stuff, and going for the Hungry Man and
Yeah, it's
the
crazy.
mystery meat with the Salisbury steak. So I cooked every single
Amen.
thing. Put on
Amen.
Superman, Batman, the real deal, not the cartoon stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's how I literally started doing it myself. And then as I got older, I started doing like my own real cooking.
Mhm.
And then into junior high school, started doing barbecue. High school and then college was hardcore barbecue all the way, Weber's.
Nice.
Yeah, and so we did that, and it just kind of grew from there. But I really love the culinary side of it. So I almost went to the California Culinary Academy, which no longer exists.
Oh shit.
It was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
the sister of the Cordon Bleu in France.
Mhm.
So I was so close to signing up. My dad took me. We did a tour. We ate there. Did that, and then the next thing you know, I went into another career. So it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So,
Law.
but I never gave it up. I never gave it up.
Yeah.
I love cooking. I love plating food. I love the artistry of it. Thinking in your head, like, what dish am I going to make? How am I going to make it look good, look appetizing? It's because you eat with your eyes first, right? You see something,
That's right.
doesn't matter how good it is. You see something that looks like crap. You're like, oh, I don't want to have that, or it doesn't look good. So that's what I work on doing. And I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm just having a lot of fun. It's just enjoying the community. I've been traveling last year, meeting a lot of people from Instagram, because I didn't really get started until COVID. Like probably a lot of people.
Yeah, I
So
was late.
I didn't.
I was a year into that, so yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't hit the Instagram scene even until like 20. I think it was 2020. So it's only been November will be 3 years basically.
Oh wow.
Gotcha.
But I've met a lot of good friends, and I traveled and met them, face to face. I got into the SCA competitions, doing judging. I judged the World Championships last year. So I've just kind of been digging into all that stuff.
What?
Yeah, it was a lot of
That's
fun. So I was in
crazy.
Texas. I competed in the Cowtown Open competition, which is insane. I mean, you're competing against it was like 147 people in my group. So it's just it's insane. But it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of people, and met a lot of friends that are still my friends today, and we chat all the time. We get on Zoom. We've got weekly calls.
Awesome.
So it's really cool. Yeah, love it.
Man, that comp scene, man, that's something different.
That's different.
I have never done a comp. And that's what everybody tells me. If you're gonna do it, do an SCA first. Don't get into like or go and do
KCBS.
one meet at a comp. Don't try and do.
Yeah, SCA is great because you can get in with like a small buy-in basically.
Mm-hmm.
KCBS is like a major commitment, and between all the protein and stuff. So the other thing is, I competed to see if I'd like it, and to be honest with you, I enjoyed drinking beer and hanging out with guys more than actually the competition, pretty much. So, I don't know if I'll compete again. Some guys are addicted, right? It just grabs you. It was fun, but it wasn't like I got to do this every time there's a comp. I got to go do it. But I enjoy doing it, and I actually probably will end up judging more than I actually enjoy the judging part of it. So I like to actually taste what people are doing, see what they're doing. Although it is a competition, so I'll tell you, it's not something you'd eat really, serve your friends. It's so different, which is kind of one of the reasons I'm not crazy about them, because it's not, I don't consider it really a cooking for your family or friends. It's literally competition, and it's not something you would do on a day-to-day basis. So you got to practice a lot of practices. A lot of money. I mean, I went through tons of ribeyes practicing. It was expensive.
There.
My 6, and then they have the ancillary. So if you're into like chicken wings or baking, you don't know what it is, they're going to throw an ancillary at you, which you have to pay for that too. But it's like $100 to add on. But I did good. I walked twice on my first competition, which was great.
Let's go.
I won. I think I got 6th or 8th in wings and 6th in state, so 9 out of 10, which was decent. It was 45 competitors, which was good. And then I competed in the again and got nothing in Texas. So it's kind of good, right?
Right. Oh, I see. That comp world, that's an absolute struggle, man. I don't think I have that in me.
I respect the guys that do it week in and week out. I mean, as you know, you're in Turtle Rock in the Castro Valley. We don't have shit here for competitions. There's nothing here.
No.
Really.
No.
There's like local rib cook-offs. Like somebody will put on a bar or something, but we just don't have it. So that's the other thing. And, Bakersfield, I went to Bakersfield because that was the closest one last year. But then it was the year before. And then last year, I think they didn't have it. So it was like, you have like 1 or 2 comps here. And really to do that few, you just can't stay up. I don't think I can't stay up on it, right? If I'm only doing that few, it's like I'm starting over new every time. Like I'm having to learn it all over again.
Yeah.
The timing,
I'm not
the
just going to
timer,
cook
and
5 ribeyes a week to keep my game sharp to maybe go to Baker's. You know what I mean? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you got to drive down there and the gas and the hotel, And so by the time we're done, it's like, for me, it was like $1,000. And I'm like, that's fun, but some guys, that is their hobby, right?
Yeah.
So that's what all the money goes to. That's not really my hobby. So my money goes to other stuff, than that. But,
yeah, I'm much more like creating than having to cook the same general profile and just try and appease some sort of panel. That's the part of it. I like you're saying, it's like art, man. I feel like I like feeding people, and when they, they don't even know you're watching, but they just, you're like, yes. Like that to me, that's winning right there. I'll take that walk any day.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, I enjoy doing my private chef work, and I do philanthropy. So I did a big fundraiser last year. It was a huge success. Raised $10,000 for
nice.
for a battered women's shelter, and they also do a new center they built for children that are rescued out of the sex trafficking industry.
Yes,
nice.
awesome.
So I cook for 100+ people with a buddy of mine, John Huntington. He's awesome. He's on Instagram a little bit, but he's a full-time like PA surgeon at a hospital, so he's busy, doing.
Oh, he's busy.
Sewing people up in the ER and stuff. Yeah, but he's an awesome guy, man. He made a killer sauce. He's got a bourbon cherry sauce. We did that. I'd actually sous vide 16 tri-tips simultaneously in a 100, and I had a 100 quart blue cooler.
Yeah.
So I did that and dropped my sous vide machines in there because I was thinking, shit, how am I going to do? Because it's all about timing, and I didn't want to I didn't want to pre-cook something, let it sit for a day or two. So I basically started it and then headed up there and then threw it in and started again and let it go for the rest of the day. And it came out great, but it was a lot of fun. People were walking up, what do you do? What is that? What's going on? So I just enjoy the chit chat. It was just fun talking to people and making connections up there. And it was up in Murphy's, California. I don't know if you've been to Murphy's. I love Murphy's.
Love Murphy's. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's awesome. So we did that. So that, that's the stuff that I find, really enjoyable. And, a bunch of sponsors donated like some really killer stuff. I mean, Hexclad, donated a massive, their entire line basically, which we had for a raffle win. It was awesome.
Yeah.
They're fantastic there. And so, that's really my passion, cookie passion, doing that.
That's what I would rather do with my time. It's like kind of like that kind of more stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when you're done, like it's fulfilling and it's a win no matter what. And it didn't cost you $1,000.
Right. Yeah.
So, I did donate all the money and everything. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but I donated, my time, the food and everything, along my buddy. And it's a great, so it's just that for me is like the ultimate. If people can do that. I mean, I wish I was closer to like, Mississippi, right? The town that got wiped out. I mean, we'll probably talk about, my other passion, but I had my radar going because I have an app that ties in National Weather Service. I actually have a photograph I took of the storms as they were hitting. I've got on a radar. There was actually two tornadoes, twin tornadoes, and one went through the town and another went right through it. So they actually had two tornadoes go through. And I was watching them just like thinking, oh my God, like you're watching this happen. It's just destruction going on.
Yeah.
But there's groups that'll go out and like cook for those people, right? They'll travel out and if they're in the area, like if they were within a state or so, I'd go, but it's kind of far. But that's the stuff that I would find enjoyable.
Yeah, like to do. Who Wishing Well Barbecue is? You saw what he did for that. Yeah. Was that a tornado? That was a tornado, right? Or a hurricane?
It was a hurricane, I think.
Yeah, hurricane. Okay.
Yeah. So fortunately,
that whole situation's so interesting to me about storms because a number of years ago we had 2008 actually, we had some friends out from Missouri. And there was like a pretty good sized earthquake, and we were all sitting around our buddy's house. Dude, these guys literally like pale white ghosts. They're shaking. They're like, dude, what was that? Like, and we're like, that's an earthquake. They're like, no, I know, but like it shouldn't move like it was so petrified. And I'm like, what do you mean, dude? Like it just shake. Nothing even broke in the house. And your storms relocate counties. Like, what the?
Yeah, they're like trailer parks, like magnets. Those things don't live in a trailer park anywhere.
Yeah,
in the Midwest.
Like, you move in a trailer park.
Mississippi trailer park. Right? I mean, like I feel bad, but it's like I don't know what it is about that, but it is some
They're just-
kind of dynamic that goes on there.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we had that. We had the big storm. Last week, which was
mhm.
insane. I mean, I've never experienced. I've been here since '97 in my house. I've never experienced winds that intense ever up here, ever.
Dude.
And I literally took a 6-foot table. I had a 6-foot table in the back, folding table up, and I had a regular big round table. It literally lifted it up in the air and threw it against my enclosed patio. I was like right there when what's going on. It was like, holy shit. I thought like, what is it? Is there a tornado outside or something?
Jeez.
Dude,
But it was 65 knots. Like we clocked at the what was
Yeah.
the wind gust up here in the back. So it was just
That's
crazy.
insane. That's
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to get into it. If you guys don't know,
Yeah.
we're going to play here.
16. Oh shit, there's a tornado right above us.
We got
Right
a
up,
there's
funnel,
a
right
tornado funnel right above us.
Right up.
Yeah, here we go.
Turn these down. So
Okay,
you guys
we're
are
gonna
literally
top out
you're
here.
watching it form right now,
Funnel
right?
above us.
Yep. It's funnel cloud. That actually
Yeah.
comes down at the start of the tornado.
Yep, we sure do. Here we go. We are right below a funnel cloud right now. You guys can see it.
That's
It's
like,
a storm for the day for sure.
just
We're
to
gonna
give
watch
people
this.
a
It
heads
looks
up,
like it
that's
is
like
starting to lower.
35 minutes from my
And
house.
it's just about right above us. And let's go ahead
That's
and
crazy.
here we go. Here we go right there. We got our funnel cloud coming down. So we're gonna make sure we're in a good position. Looks good, Dave.
Crazy.
That's wild.
So
Yeah, that was
I
crazy.
played it. I had that to introduce it, but we also got a question from the audience about it. How does one get involved in chasing tornadoes? I'd love to experience that sometime. So let's just crack it open. Let's just get
Yep.
right into it.
So the way that I would tell somebody if they want to get started is they really got to go with an experienced chaser or a tour.
Yeah,
The tour, yeah, don't go by yourself. The tours, and I got some stories about that too. It's really dangerous. The tours, the
Yeah.
thing about the tours is that if you want to just go see it and you want to do photography or something, the tour is the way to go. But they pack a bunch of people in the van, not my thing, and they forecast it, and then they go out and they just try to get the show right.
Mhm.
So that's the first side of it. If you want to get into really learning to chase storms, I mean, I've been studying meteorology for about at least 20 plus years,
Yeah,
maybe
that-
25
okay.
years. I got my pilot's license. So when you become a pilot, you have to get into weather, and it's like really intense. I mean, it's on your exam. You got to know about icing conditions and all sorts of stuff, right? But you get into severe weather a little bit because the whole goal is to stay out of it when you're
Yeah.
flying a plane, right? So they just teach you like, this is a thunderstorm, don't fly into that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, pretty simple.
Right.
But I attended a lot of online. There's online courses down in Oklahoma University down there where they talk about it's all severe storm forecasting, and it gets pretty dicey into the science, and it gets pretty intense. So some of the stuff still it's like over my head,
Yeah, sure.
and I don't really care about it because I'm not a meteorologist,
Mhm.
but I'm always learning. And the goal when you're chasing is to forecast like within a mile, where is that going to develop? And you want to be
Mhm.
where the actual supercell is developing, not where the storm is, but you want to be there when it's like a puff of cloud in the sky. And so that's the really exciting thing for me is, and we've done this multiple times now, we've nailed it. And it's a little bit of luck, but I think it's also a little bit of skill and knowing
Sure,
what's going to happen. But a lot of it is kind of luck. Being, hopefully you nailed the forecast. We're looking at weather models, so they're all models from
Yeah.
that come out.
It's best guesses, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's a very educated guess with a lot
Yes,
of storm
I don't mean to
chasers.
sound like we're
Yeah.
just like.
No.
rolling
It's
dice.
not like that. We know
Yeah.
like it's going to happen right here, and
Mhm.
maybe it happens here, right? I mean, you get
Yeah.
close, and like today, I was watching today. They were expecting a really big severe outbreak again in Mississippi, and also and there was a couple tornadoes this morning in Louisiana. But I watched all day, and it had a lot of severe thunderstorms. Didn't really materialize, especially into what was like yesterday.
Mhm.
But looking out a week, and models are good for usually a day or two. That's when you really nail it down. You look at what models do the weatherman. Oh, next week, and you're like, yeah, whatever, next week. Like it changes so much in
Yeah.
a week.
That's right.
The models
We know
change.
that.
You know,
Yeah, we know that with
yeah,
local weather. You know.
exactly. You know, and the guys here, they don't really. I mean, you know, but this is a level 3 storm. You know,
Yeah.
we're the first storm rated newscast. You know,
Yeah, yeah. And you
these guys
walk
are
outside.
probably if there's like just a little bit of a thunder. You know, it's like
You
oh
walk
no, it's a
outside and you're
thunderstorm.
like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or it
Major
doesn't
storm
even
coming.
rain that day.
Exactly. Yeah. Where can you have a job where you can be wrong almost all the time and you're still good to go, right? So,
That is,
And go back to work the next day.
I say that
Exactly.
all the time. Like, if I could be wrong like a quarter of the time, that'd be awesome.
Exactly.
especially knowing what they're making.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's not like they're getting paid decent. I'm not saying everybody at the news station, but
No, they're making good money. The
yeah.
newscasters.
Mhm.
But it's but we forecast. We'll look and we'll call each other. We called each other like a couple of days before we started talking. That was on the one you just showed to everybody. And I was in bed about 7:30, and my buddy Dave pinged me on SMS. He's like, "Hey, have you seen the National Weather Service?" I'm like, "No, not yet. I'm gonna get up some breakfast." He said, "I am too. Let's go and do a forecast." I said, "Okay." So at the time, the National Weather Service, they show percentages of areas of certain things, like might be a 2% tornado risk in an area or no tornado risk. And so that morning, there wasn't a 2% or a risk put up yet. But looking at everything, we were like, dude, it's gonna fire today. We know it is.
Mhm.
So we figured out where we're gonna be. Merced was kind of our target. Merced was our target area to start out with. We ended up, by the way, going all the way down to Fresno, chasing that storm.
Oh, yeah.
So
man.
yeah. So we covered a lot of ground that
driving
day.
around, right there.
Yeah, but when your adrenaline's pumping, you're hot, like you don't care.
Oh,
you're just going.
You don't even feel it.
But
yeah,
exactly. So and we got done early. We were done by like 7:30, 8 o'clock because the storm pretty much fizzled out.
Mhm.
And then of course the drive back home from there. I had to get my car in Merced and then come back home. But it was all good because we got gold on video. Right? That was the key thing. Yeah. So we did the forecast and we knew it was going to happen. And about 11 o'clock, we're driving out. Sure enough, boom! National Weather Service puts a bulletin out: tornado risk, Central Valley. 3 p.m. We're like, we nailed it. We knew it was going to happen. And we got lucky and we got on it. I mean, we got like right under it. So
yeah.
but we followed it when it first started, and it happened this way when we were in Nebraska and Kansas. We were at a quick stop, some janky quick stop thing, getting a drink. I was going in to get something on this one. I think I was getting like some cash, some protein, some nuts and stuff to have in the car, a couple bottles of water. I'm in there, and all of a sudden, I walk up the counter, and I put it down, and my buddy Dave's yelling. He goes, "Jay!" And he's waving. I'm like, I'll be back. Hold on. So I drop all my stuff. I go running out. The guy's looking at me like, ¿Qué pasó? I'm like, he actually said, ¿Qué pasó? Like,
oh,
okay,
yeah.
Don't worry.
No, everything's
run
fine.
out there.
I just have to see it.
Yeah, and sure as shit, right above the quick stop, there's a cloud. It's rotating real slowly. It's small, but it's got rotation. So I'm like, oh man, the day's starting out just like last year in Kansas, right? So that's how it started, and then we followed that, and it grew into a massive supercell. And was giving off a lot of lightning, and then of course, then it fired off the funnel cloud. Didn't touch the ground, so technically it's not a tornado unless it touches the ground. But yeah, it was an exciting day. So that's my passion. I do a lot of they call it armchair. I do a lot of armchair chasing. So like today, I was online a lot this morning with the radars going, looking at everything, just watching the storms fire off. And there's a couple chasers that broadcast live on YouTube. So that's kind of my second passion. And so I did that. I'm cooking. I had to do some content for Not a Barbecue today. So I was out there doing that, and then running back in, checking the radar and the storms, and it just kind of never did anything today. So, nothing big. It was, just one of those days where chasers kind of, got snuffed. So, happens.
So even after all these years, does your adrenaline still get up and get to pumping?
Always. Oh yeah. Even if we think it's going to be a decent, like maybe it'll be something. If not, we're like, we might have a good lightning show. I even get pumped about that because we just don't have that.
Love a good lightning thunder show. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not like they do. We
don't.
Yeah, there's nowhere near the lightning like they have over there.
No, nothing. I mean,
it's crazy.
That storm though was when we were over in the valley though. That storm that spun that funnel cloud. The funnel. Yeah. It had some really incredible lightning going on into the evening, and then there was a second cell that was parallel with it going, and so that storm actually gave a really good lightning show because it was a little bit further north of the other one. So coming home was cool because I could see all the lightning, as I was driving home. And of course, then it passed and it was nothing. But man, the rain, I met Bakersfield Swiftwater Rescue in Merced.
Oh,
They
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they were a bunch of cool dudes. We were at Starbucks and talking. They were sent up here because that day was supposed to be like the massive floods were supposed to happen.
Oh, yep. Yep.
The massive floods happened down in Bakersfield that day. So they were all up here. All the shit's going on down south. And so I said, well,
Man.
who's doing stuff down there? He's like, it wouldn't matter if we were there because the water, they said, is like a rushing normal river is like, say, 500 or 1,000 cubic feet per second. They said that it was 7,000 cubic feet per second of water. They wouldn't be able to rescue anybody in it. They'd have to just watch it.
No.
They couldn't do anything.
Yeah. It's
So
recovery
they said
later
it
at
wouldn't
that
help
point.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was pretty funny. They're
That's-
up here
yeah.
and then all the floods are down south. So
Right. Yeah. It's like all the fire departments get called up here for the fires up north, and then Southern California jumps off, and then it's like,
exactly.
all right, bye. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's
a lot
been
of fun.
weird. Dude. There's a lot of weather this year that no one.
A lot of weather. A lot of what
No one's quite used to or remembers. Yeah.
Saying ski until August now. I think, so that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know Mammoth said they're for sure open through the end of July. So, and
Yeah,
that they're like
crazy.
king here. So
Yeah,
that's mind blowing. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the storm chasing thing, don't do it yourself. It is super dangerous. You know, if people have followed this and watched a lot of shows, Reed Tinder's a real famous guy. He's been on a lot of TV shows. He had the TIV vehicle and things like that. There was a couple, Tim Samaras, his son, and another guy got killed actually. These guys are like total pro chaser scientists, and they got killed, years ago in a massive tornado.
Too close or changed direction
yeah,
or something?
well, yeah, it did a really weird change of direction. Normally doesn't do, of course, typically.
Yeah.
And they were trying to set out electronic instruments, and I think they just they got caught up, and it took their vehicle, and it literally within a minute like threw it. I mean, up in the air, and it went way out into a field, and they've never released. They have video, but they've never released the video to the public of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's probably horrific to watch, but there's like a big monument out there where it happened, and it was one of the tornadoes they've actually been studying for years now. And at the time, a lot of storm chasers have beacons that they have turned on. So they did an analysis and pulled the data from all the chasers, and you can see there's just dots everywhere where this was.
Yeah.
And then they were able to triangulate where every person was, and the movement of the storm, and how it went, and it's on YouTube. It's pretty fascinating. So that's the stuff you see, and you go, "Ooh, we try to stay." It wasn't like we were intentionally under it. It just happened to be that.
Yeah, sure.
Looked up, and we're like, because we're looking at radar, and it looked like it was ahead a little bit. But what typically happens, you see these big cells. The tornadoes come out back here. They don't come out right underneath. So you don't know. And we were surprised because when we were in Kansas, Nebraska chasing, one came out and flanked us, and it was way behind where tornadoes usually do not come out at all. So, and we were a little ways away, but had you been towards the rear side of that chasing it, you could have got, you could have got in trouble. So you just got to really be careful and know what you're doing. You got to know what side of the storm to be on. You got to watch the movement. And that's why there's always, some guys chase by themselves, but it's great having two people because, I'm usually the radar guy and looking at all the different data, looking at stuff. He's driving, concentrating on that, but he's also looking as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's a great hobby. The thing is that it's getting so popular now that you get people like, I was shocked in the Valley when that happened, and we were on 99, and all of a sudden there was like 50 cars on the side of the road, and it was all these people that were chasing.
Dang.
And so I asked my buddy Dave, like, are these all? He goes, yeah, they're all chasers. I'm like, I never seen that many cars, like in California doing that. But he's like, yeah, it's really getting popular. People are coming out, and then a lot of people stopped to talk to us. A lot of almond ranchers stopped and asked us like what the storms were because they're all in bloom. They were in bloom right now, so they were freaking out that like if the almonds get hit, they're done.
Gone.
Yeah, their money's gone for the whole year, and or many years if it rips trees out.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was fun. It was a good time, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing something like that again. The thing I like is there's no damage, no destruction. It's just sea weather, doesn't hurt anything. That's the best. That's the best days.
That's right.
Otherwise, if you something happens and there's damage and something big happens, you typically you'll stop and you're going to help and you go into rescue mode. Not which I haven't had to do, but my friend's been involved in some major tornadoes. He was involved to do that. So he used to live in Oklahoma City. Now he lives out by Tahoe. So
okay,
yeah.
Real quick, the Grillin' Daddy had a shout out.
Grillin' Daddy, what's up, brother?
So it's only a tornado if it touches the ground.
Correct.
So what do they call the ones that, like, I was driving through, I think I was still in Nevada, We were on our way to Utah, and I got a cool picture of me like holding my palm like this. It looks like it's coming out of my hand,
Yep.
but it's just this giant dirt
Huge.
devil,
Yep,
huge
dust,
dirt, like
those are dust nados.
dust nados. Okay, I mean
Yeah.
I had to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet tall.
Yeah, I've got some good pictures of those places I've traveled actually have them.
Mm-hmm.
They got them all the time. They look like tornadoes in Africa, but they're not. They're these dust nados, but they go up 300, 400, 500 feet, and 600 feet, 1,000 feet. They're huge.
Crazy.
They look like tornadoes, but
yeah,
and that's actually caused by there is air, but it's also the main cause is heat. So the heat rising creates creates lift, and then the air starts circulating around the heat, and then you get those dust nados that pulls everything up from the bottom and starts that. So yeah.
Oh, so I heard, I guess, or I thought, or I heard somewhere that that's how tornadoes started. It was like warm and cold air in the storm hitting and spinning.
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors without getting too technical in tornadoes, but tornadoes actually start sideways most of the time. So you have
and then fall down.
Yeah, rotativity, and it gets stretched and elongated up, and then that's what happens. But yeah, you get opposing winds that hit, so the wind starts turning this way. You have tubes of air that start cycling, and then as lift is happening, they call like adiabatic heating, which is when there's a lot of storms, if there's a lot of cloud cover, that actually kills the storms. So you'll see like these huge lines of thunderstorms all together. You'll notice in those situations there usually aren't a lot of tornadoes. You want the discrete, they call them discrete cells, where they're like by themselves. There's nothing around, because we saw in our case, our cell had another cell next to it. It was actually sucking energy from our cell the whole time. So the cells are actually like almost like living things. They'll shoot out air. They'll absorb air. You can feel there's like a rear slanting downdraft. You can feel the air like start rushing when you're standing there. So you can kind of tell what's happening with the storm. But we had one that kind of blew up our storm a little bit, where it couldn't survive, and that's what happened. So it did that thing, but it was kept getting interrupted by the other storm. So it never can kind of get together. It was rotating really good. I got some other footage of it, and this clouds are really cycling well, but it just didn't have enough oomph to kind of get on the ground. And temperature, dew point, humidity. There's like all these factors. It's got to be perfect for the tornado to really form at that point.
That's
there's a lot to it.
I didn't know we were going to college tonight.
I was intrigued though.
Yeah, so real quick, and then we're going to get to some food talk, because this is a foodie show. But we're all super fascinated by it. Damon and I were talking before, like, we have to bring this up.
Yeah, no problem.
So Owen Quirk wants to know, a wee bit quirky, are you a bigger fan of the Wizard of Oz or Twister?
What does Owen think?
Right?
Yeah, I'd say Twister's a little too dramatic. I think I'd go with the Wizard of Oz for me.
Oh,
I like the witch. The witches just they turned me on. So
that's his third.
Glenda, she was hot, man. So.
Right? Yeah.
I'll take Glenn any day over a tornado.
All right. I do want to. Let's talk about this one.
Okay.
What's going?
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, a little. God, I cook so much. Yeah, that's a dad sauce. Is that my omelet? I think I did.
It looks like it's got pepperoni.
Yeah, it's pepperoni. I think I had some salchichon in there as well. So it's kind of a spin on the omelets. I love doing omelets. I don't know why, but I just do different ones. And dat sauce, I use dat sauce in a lot of stuff. It's awesome stuff. I love it. So it's in a lot of my recipes and things I do, and I use it almost every morning for breakfast with my eggs. So
okay. So is omelets like your go-to breakfast?
No, actually, my go-to lately has been like just 2 fried eggs and like a bagel and cream cheese.
Super simple.
Super simple. Gotta go.
Yeah,
But yeah, if I have time, I like making omelet. I did a killer one today that I'm gonna be posting. I think I'm gonna post it tomorrow. I did a smash burger omelet this morning, because I did a smash burger the day before, and I'm like, oh man, I want this. This was so good. I gotta do something tomorrow morning for breakfast with the smash burger. So that'll be tomorrow. But yeah, so I did a great smash burger omelet.
Man,
did it with
I can't wait for that one.
Cheese all around the outside edge, and then smash burger in the middle and fold it up on top of it, and then dat sauce on top of that. A couple sprigs of some herbs and stuff. Oh, it was really killer. It was really good.
Ooh. I had to wipe my mouth there for a second.
Yeah, hold on.
Clear myself up there.
Yeah.
So do you cook breakfast outside a lot? You got a griddle or something, or is it mostly inside?
Mostly inside. I have a fire disc that I'll use. Have you guys seen the fire
Okay.
disc?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
I
I
love
don't
that
know.
thing. So
Maybe
it's
I
like
have
it's
seen
like a
it, but
big, huge. It isn't a griddle because it's got like kind of a bowl, a little bit of a slight bowl in it.
Mhm.
But you
ooh,
can do any. You can do any. It's huge, and gas underneath it.
like almost
And
like a
that's
big disco, like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
Okay.
big discada. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But what's nice is that it's super hot in the middle. Then there's like a medium hot on like
Hmm.
3 inches around, and then warm on the outer side. So I can make stuff and then push it out to the edge,
Yeah.
and it keeps it nice and warm and hot. But yeah, so I'll do breakfast on that. I've done bacon and sausage and eggs and
Mm.
everything else. So, but typically it's in the house on my stove. That's for
Yeah.
breakfast. That's what I do.
Same.
Everything else at dinners is typically all outside. I was outside all day today and tonight,
Hmm. It was a nice
cooking.
day. Nice, or at
Gorgeous
least over
today.
here. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
We got y'all's weather today. We
Oh,
got
Oh,
all the
did you?
rain. We got all the rain today.
That's because we were blowing it
Yeah,
out of
it
here,
was
man.
blowing
It's
it
your
over.
someone else's turn.
Should have got more coming Tuesday, Wednesday
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
what I keep hearing. Crazy.
yeah, it's okay. No drought. As long as no drought, I'm happy.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I'm tired of hearing that nonsense.
yeah, exactly.
Tell us about these, man.
Okay, so that's definitely my looks like my polenta.
Yeah.
That was a polenta. Oh no, that was the sandwich. That was my garlic bread sandwich, and that was with Billy's Bacon out of Fairhope, Alabama, which is like
Okay.
incredible. I did a potato salad and a mac salad on
Yeah.
that with some cheese, onion. I did some roasted peppers on there as well, and stacked it up. Basically, the bacon was the highlight. But
Uh
it was my basically my garlic bread bacon sandwich that I had thrown together.
huh. That's what I will never get tired of talking to people on here because they say
No.
stuff like that, and I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Like garlic bread sandwiches. Why? It sounds so simple. Sounds so simple, but
Hmm.
I just never
Yeah.
thought of that.
Big Texas toast, the garlic Texas
Yeah.
toast was freaking great. Yeah, it's good stuff. So
Uh, what kind of barbecue? What kind of equipment you got out back? Pellet grills, offsets,
uh,
kettles.
so yeah, I've got let's see. So I've got start out. I have a gas Weber that I use for specific things. So I have that.
Hmm.
Not ashamed to say is gas, especially
Yeah.
doing something really fast like jalapeno
Yep.
poppers or something. It's going on
Yeah.
the gas. I'm not going to light up charcoal and waste a lot of time for 15 minutes and I'm done and that's it.
Yep.
But I got the gas. I've got my Yoder pellet smoker YS640.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
I use that thing all the time. It's great. I got my big green egg. Love my green egg. I use that.
Mm.
That's probably one of the most used ones I have is my big green egg. And then I've got a PK360
Yeah.
for
Just
pure grilling. Yeah, so I love
yeah.
the
I need to
PK360.
get a PK for that.
Yeah, they're great, man. They last a lifetime. They're cast
Yeah.
aluminum. And they don't rust. It's like, and at the competitions, SCA, all you see, I mean, most of it, there's a lot of,
Yeah.
most of it was all PK. The
Yeah.
small
80,
PK Go,
90% serious.
exactly, PK, yeah.
Because
So
it
I've
gets
got the
so
360.
hot.
Yeah, oh, it gets super, super hot. I got the PK Go, the little one that you can do,
Mhm.
steaks for
Oh,
competition. I
yep.
got that one. I've got a Pit Boss tabletop small pellet smoker that I can take when I travel. It run on a battery pack.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
the newer
it's
one that
old.
came out.
No, I've had it for years. It
Oh,
it
okay.
almost looks like it's a small little square one.
Uh-huh.
But it holds 7 pounds of pellets, which will last you 12 hours
Yeah.
easy,
Yeah.
Holy
during the day.
cow.
So I have that one, and then I've got an offset, Texas offset.
Mhm.
And I think, and I've got my Nomad portable grill, which I traveled with when I did my tour, and took that thing
I
all over the
like
country.
those.
Yeah, it's for traveling. There's nothing like it. I could put it in the overhead in an airplane. Everybody looks at it like, what is that? Like, is that like 007 shit going on over there? It's like, so it's my barbecue. They're like, barbecue? What are you talking about?
That's awesome.
Exactly. So that's something you can actually take, which is great. If you can take a girl with you somewhere, you can take that.
Yeah.
And then I think that's pretty much, my fire disc I have. That's pretty much about it. So for backyard stuff. So
Man, that's quite well.
That's
quite a
the
bit.
most.
Yeah, I use everything though. You know,
One thing you left off there was pizza ovens, though. I didn't hear one pizza oven in that whole thing.
So yeah, well, those aren't grills, right? But grills,
okay.
Yeah. So I have 5 pizza ovens right now.
Okay.
But there's a reason to that. You know, my sponsor is awesome, Pizzello. They have supplied me. So my first pizza oven I got was from a company out of Texas that makes custom pizza ovens for like built-in backyard areas. And they reached out to me and said, "Hey man, you do some great stuff. We'd like to ship you one of these pizza ovens, do a bunch of content." I said, "No problem." So I got it, and it's stunning. It's all stainless steel. It's huge. I could put 2 turkeys in that thing.
Wow.
I do racks of lamb in it, which, I mean, if I can do wood fire stuff in that thing, I'll go do that because it's amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
So that was the first one, and I started doing pizzas, in that, which was good because I did all my pizza destruction in that oven before I got into like doing the ones on the Pizzella where I could actually fire off a pizza without, tumbling in a ball or making a mess out of the thing. And then I have 2 actual wood fire pizza ovens that only run on wood. Which are great, and then I've got 3. I have the Pizzello 12-inch gas and wood pellet, and I have the new 16-inch gas and wood pellet that came out from them. And so those are the ones that I'm really using the most. That I find, a lot of my friends on Instagram, a lot of people have bought them, they're using them, and they're loving them, and they're really efficient. They're built really well, and they're half the price of anything else in the market, and that's why I partnered with them because they have a value proposition I thought was really important, and along with other things I do, it's nice to find things for people that are not super expensive.
Sure.
Not everybody can afford it, and so they're in that market. So all the people that have been dying for pizza ovens that couldn't afford them, they were looking at other brands that are out there that were $600, $700, $800, $250. You get one fully loaded. I mean, it's you're good to go. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and really getting deep into pizza history and stuff. I'm still in the barbecue stuff, but the pizza's like, I really been getting into that, and I just did a Detroit pizza that was freaking mind blowing the other day. And I just full YouTube on that one right now, but I got posted yesterday morning. So that's the pizza oven scene, and they run great. Love them. And I've cooked other things on them too. Fire off steak in it. Fire off steak if you want to, just fire that sucker up, and it gets to like 900 degrees really fast. Throw a steak in there, that thing's going to be searing like nobody's business. So.
Yeah, sounds good.
I've seen some people do other stuff on them. No, but there's an art to using those, especially on a pizza, man. I can see it. Just you're turning it a lot, right? Like you're moving it around, and you can't just set it in, walk away for 5 minutes, come back, and your pizza's good, right?
it'll be black as coal, man. I know. I did it once and forgot, and went in the house, and my wife's like, "What's that smell?" I'm like, "Oh shit, the pizza!"
No.
Yeah. And then of course you're like, "Oh, I got a big Oreo cookie."
Right?
Yeah. So, but no, you got to watch it. They cook really fast, and what I find fascinating is there's so many recipes for dough. It's kind of like how you do barbecue. There isn't one way or a right way or wrong way. There's tons of methods to do it. And hydration is like the big thing. And people always ask you, they'll say, "Oh, what hydration are you using for your dough?" It's like, is it 70%? Is it 68? Is it 80%? And then based on that, you got to use different temperatures. You can't, for a lot of the stuff, you can't use a regular oven, like 500 degrees. It won't do it for pizza. You can do, I used to do it in my oven with a pizza stone. That's how I started, but they were nothing like using a pizza oven, right? It's like, that's kind of next level for the result you get, the excitement, like, man, this is like really like, the pizza out of the pizza, pizza pie.
Yeah, because I just recently got one. I'm trying to get into it a little bit, trying to learn more and more about it because it is a little different.
It is.
When I haven't seen you post one yet, Damon. Have you done one in there yet?
Yeah, but it was just real quick. It was a real quick video.
Okay.
It wasn't nothing spectacular. It ate good though. It ate good, but it wasn't nothing like to win an Oscar or anything.
Wasn't nothing like so here's the deal. The thing about pizzas and stuff like that, there's that cheese pull that everybody wants to see. Was yours cracking off anything like this?
Wood fired pizza. We're firing up the Pizzello Forte using wood pellets. That's right. You can cook an incredible pizza
the one you was
using
just
wood
talking
pellets.
about,
So they
folks.
say. I wanted to try it out, so I took my Not a Wood barbecue plum pellets. They burn about 20% hotter and longer than normal wood pellets. I fired it up, stuck it in the Pizzella. We went to 650 degrees. Absolutely perfect pizza. It was scintillating. Please follow and like this video. Thanks.
Shameless plug at the end, folks.
No, it didn't look like that one.
Dude, I'm a pizza freak too.
My sound
so.
cut out. What's up?
Oh, are you good now?
Can you hear us now? Hold on. Hello. Testing 1, 2.
I don't hear you guys when you went to that. I saw the pizza video, but can't hear you guys.
Can you hear us now?
What's up?
Can you hear us, Jay?
Let's see.
What could be going on? Oh no, technical difficulties.
Stand by, folks. Stand by.
Says I'm muted mic. Can you hear me now?
No.
Can hear. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We can.
You can hear me, huh? I can't hear you. That's weird. Wow.
Oh, this is gonna be tough.
We can go into sign language.
How do we tell him to? Oh, you can hear. Oh, he can't hear us. We can hear him.
I can't hear you
No.
guys. When you cut to that one video, the pizza oven, that's when the audio's cut out.
Why would
Play
you do that?
the next video and see if it'll peak back up.
All right.
You got to boot me and bring me back or something.
Yeah, let's try that real quick.
I got it. Hold on.
Okay, pop him back in. Sorry, folks.
All
Can
right.
you hear us now?
Still can't hear you guys.
No.
It's a weird trip.
Well, this is the first.
Yeah. I wonder if he should go out and come back in. I don't know how to tell him that. Oh wait. Comments. How do I go to the private chat? This is horrible.
I can't hear you guys. Looks like everything's going okay on this end. I don't know what's going on. That's so weird.
All right. Let me try this.
So I say, play that one and then come back.
Can you hear us? No. Dang it.
You want me to pop
Folks,
off
we're
and pop
starting.
back in?
Yes.
Let me do that. I'll be right back.
Yes. Yes, that's all I was trying to communicate.
Hey, in the night, my whiteboard is across the room. Do we need?
Of course. Oh.
Because Owen had the right idea. Hold up a paper.
Yeah.
Owen, we have a whiteboard, but it's on the other side of the room tonight.
Can you hear us now?
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Technology.
All right.
And we're back.
I don't understand what happened.
That's all good. But yeah, we were watching the cheese pull pizza, and then that was it. I didn't hear you guys. So
Okay.
But yeah, the cheese pool, it looks great.
yeah, it was really good. There's a little trick. There's a little trick to that, by the way.
We'll talk about that offline.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't give out secrets.
No, I'm not. There's a little trick. I'll tell you guys a trick later.
Nice. What's your favorite pizza you've come up with that you've done so far?
I like it kind of simple. So I think the favorite pizza I did was my prosciutto balsamic pizza that I did. That one had 2 different cheeses, the great prosciutto, balsamic vinegar on top,
Oh my god.
arugula, and Parmesan Reggiano to finish it off, and a little hot peppers over the top.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Any like that you did like this is gonna be good, and then when you made the pizza, you're like, this should not have been made. If you had any,
no, but I've had pizzas when I started and it got done. It was like I can't eat this because it's just a big pile of heaping mess. When I first started, my wife really enjoyed those nights. Oh, I go for some pizza. I'm like, here's your pizza, honey, and there's this big blob. She's like, what's my part? I'm like, this is your part here.
you get this. That's awesome.
So that happened a couple times. I learned my lesson after that. So,
Okay.
but no, I haven't. I mean, I've done a lot of things on it, but it's like, have you guys ever had like a bad pizza? I mean,
I'm a little bit of a weirdo, so yes.
Yeah.
If there's vegetables or fruit on my pizza, it's a bad pizza to me.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of the vegetables. That adds a lot of water to it, and that's where you get that watery puddle. Yeah, you got to put them on at the end. If you do them in the beginning, like that's it, game over. So yeah, so I do love mushrooms. I love the shrooms, man, on my pizza.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't.
I will do pepperoni and olives, like that. Pepperoni sausage and olives sometimes just hits really good. So I guess
that's a great combination. I am a little weird because I love pepperoni, pineapple, and black olive and onion. That's my go-to that I love doing. Yeah, pineapple with the pepperoni,
combo.
spicy pepperoni, pineapple, black olive, and onions, and I'm good to go, man.
Yes.
So we have a thing on the Dude Network. That's a question we've asked guests a ton of times in the past. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Because I don't agree with that.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
my wife loves pineapple pizza.
Yeah. It's a debate for sure.
It's just like brisket, fat cap up or down. Like it's like one of those things. Like everybody has an opinion and theirs is right, and and there's really no wrong answer or right answer, folks.
That's right. Exactly. It's different. I mean, yeah, it's fruit, right? So, but I've seen all this crazy stuff. People doing just like crazy stuff with food now to get likes and content going. It's just like stuff like soaking stuff in Kool-Aid, and like I'm just not going that route. I'm just not. That's fine, but I can't do that. So
I heard about root
waste
beer,
of good Kool-Aid.
Root beer and
exactly
pulled porks and stuff like that. Years before I was ever like this hard in the foodie game at all, before I had any social media towards it, I was talking with a foreman one time, and he was like, "Oh man, my wife tried this new recipe. You got to put root beer on your pork for your pulled pork." And I just go. Now I see Hawaiian Punch, all kinds of crazy stuff, and like now I'm like, I just don't know if I could try it, man. I don't know. I'm sure it's good. It's sugar, but
yeah, exactly. I mean, I would think soaking it in the wine, it probably is pretty good. I mean, it's sweet.
Yeah.
If you like it, because a lot of people, they'll put the sweet sauce on the pulled pork, but I just, I try to stick to my own lane, kind of do my own thing, and I don't really like doing the trends because everyone else is doing them. So if I do it, I'm just,
you get lost in the weeds.
I just want to, no, that, but I just want to do my own thing. I want to be unique with what I cook. I've got my sponsors that really, reached out to me years ago for my content. And that's the thing is I'm not doing the same stuff. And I try to do things new all the time. My feed, I try to make it so everything's different. It's not like the same thing. I mean, it's getting kind of tiring for me. I kind of, and honestly, I've really been moving to YouTube. I started that channel not too long ago, and I'm going to hit 2,000 followers. It's been like 3 months.
Dude, congratulations.
Thanks, man. The channel's taken off. I got into the partner program. It just, the people there are really engaging. A lot of haters and keyboard cowards. I mean, you can't take that. Don't go to YouTube, man. Because the hell out of you for all sorts of stuff. I think it's just as bad as TikTok, So, but what I like though is that haters come on out, man. It's engagement. The algorithm loves that shit.
Yep, absolutely.
Hate away,
dude. And the best is when a hater comes and then a whole bunch of people you don't even know are like, hey, don't say that. Like, man, he's just out here, and like, because that's just it'll run for a week sometimes, and you're like, thank you, folks.
Yeah. I have had one video I posted about a month or almost 2 months now. It did go. It's viral. It's going to have 100,000, I think. Probably the next 3 or 4 weeks. It's insane, but it was a controversial thing, and somebody made a comment, and it just went on fire. And the comments are in the hundreds now.
Yeah.
So So it was great. I'm like, it's my number one watch video. It's way ahead of everything else. It's got I don't know, thousands of watch hours already.
Oh, love it. Yeah.
But I like the platform. I like doing the longer videos. So I just did a whole thing on the history of Detroit pizza with my cook for the Detroit pizza. So people can see the cook without, like the younger generation these days, it's like the 30-second brain. It's like, and I actually don't spend time online doing that for 4 hours a day. I just can't do it. I'm spending more time watching people do longer content. And enjoying that more because I can actually, like learn something versus seeing somebody just throw out a quick 10-second thing and they're done and, they get all the likes and when I first started, I was like, oh yeah, you want to get that stuff. And now mindset's kind of, I want to have quality content. I'm doing my blog on my website where people can actually get good information because I asked a lot of people out there, like, what could I do different? What would you like to see? And they said, we want information. Like, we see all this stuff that people are just putting these cool things. They're hanging alligators. There's, open fire and all this stuff. And that's great. But, I was talking to my buddy, most people are not going to go out and do that, right? That's a niche. It's a very small niche, by the way. I mean, it's a really small niche. And so, I want to do something that really appeases to a lot of people. And I have another video coming on YouTube that a buddy of mine we did, and waiting for his video to upload. We had a challenge to ourselves. We had to go out at the supermarket and film this and do a meal for two, and we could not spend $20. It was had to be under $20 for everything. Yeah. So he told me what he did, and then I told him what I did, and of course it'll be interesting when we see it. But I was able to do it, and when I did it, usually I go to the store, probably you guys too, right? You just go look for something, like, I want that, and you buy it, right?
Right.
Well, when you got $20 and you're like, I can't go over that, and I got to have protein, side dishes, all this stuff. It's like, you start looking at prices, right?
That's right.
So I was looking at things, realizing like, damn, if I spend this, that's half my budget already, right? So it really got me into kind of the budget mode of being conscious. Then I thought, this is what people today are doing, especially with the economy. Interest rates go through the ceiling. The bank collapses. People are really nervous about finances and money. And I thought it would be good to do something where people could see that, yeah, this guy went and he did a really good meal, like a good meal, not like some crap thing like, mac and cheese or something. We couldn't do that. But for under $20, and you could do two. Not only was it two, had I got 2 more pieces of protein, which I didn't, I actually had enough for an entire meal for 2 of us the next day. So all I had to add is a couple pieces of chicken. So I actually really almost got 4 meals out of it for under $20. So I think that's something that people will like seeing.
Okay.
So I'm starting to change up like my content, what I'm doing, and moving that route on YouTube and do more informational stuff. I'm doing a whole series on knife sharpening, like all these things that, I've been focused so much on cooking, but I'm like, I don't see anybody in the barbecue community talking about knife sharpening. There's a lot of people with knives. They show knives. They buy knives. I love knives. I got a ton of knives.
They show how sharp they are.
They show how sharp. Well, and that they also show how sharp they are sometimes, but the way they're doing it isn't really the way to test. So I'm going to be talking about that as well. I bought an industrial tester that arrived on Friday, best certified. So I'll be doing cutting tests, and we'll see exactly what those knives are when done being sharpened. And
sweet.
Yeah, I got a whole line of work sharpeners. I'm going to be showing everybody from the small pull throughs to the Ken Onion top of the line power sharpeners. Mm-hmm. So I think some people are going to really, once they know that my video's out there and start looking at that stuff, they'll realize that it's not just cooking, because there's so many people cooking out there.
Yes.
And it's great, but I'm trying to find what are people interested in the barbecue community and the culinary community that you're not really seeing. And it's really a lot of information you're not seeing. You're just seeing cooking.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm doing on YouTube and trying to do more informational stuff. And I'm doing the full cooks, like how to do it step by step. Yeah. And it takes a long time to shoot and do the video and editing, but hopefully if people enjoy it, which they seem to be, that, I'll keep on that path. And I think YouTube's kind of where it's going to be at. I really do. I think it's going to be the all-in-one shop for everything. So
I can always, a wee bit quirky says, I can always count
Thanks,
on
Owen.
Jay for cutting edge content. And then he wants to see what I did there.
Yeah, I see what you did there, Owen.
We see. And he's this guy. He's so funny, man.
That really cut me deep, by the way. So.
Ooh, hey, got him back.
We got
slicing me up, man.
Hey, so tell me about this one. Tell me about this sandwich right here.
Oh yeah, the pulled pork sandwich. Oh, that's killer. That's my pulled pork. We got some spicy pickles on it and spicy jalapenos. That's my white Alabama sauce coleslaw.
Oh,
and then that's the barbecue sauce on top, and then of course just good old toasted bun. But it worked really well. Really great.
So
I love pulled pork sandwiches. Like pulled pork steak, and I love it in the sandwich with the slaw and everything. God, it's just so good.
Dude, and I made some homemade pickles. One time, changed my life on a pulled pork sandwich. I don't know what I was thinking before. I don't know.
It's so easy, right?
Dude,
so
yeah.
Easy,
dude.
A lot of stuff is so simple.
What was that slaw you said again?
White Bama Alabama sauce slaw.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So my buddy came up with a recipe for white Alabama sauce slaw, which we actually did our fundraiser thing. And I was like, dude, this thing is insane. He's like, I know, right? I'm like, yeah, I didn't think that would actually even like go together, but he did a little twist, and as you do with making things, and
Right.
it's some of the best coleslaw I've ever had. So that's what I do now. I love that stuff.
Oh wait, yeah. What was
Yeah,
it?
I can see where it will work out, because I mean the Alabama sauce is based with mayonnaise anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly. Yeah. He just adds a couple, a little bit more vinegar, some sugar to it,
That's
and
right.
sweetens it up, and it's so good.
Absolutely. No, I can get down. I'm down with it.
So so do you guys like Kentucky Fried Chicken coleslaw?
No.
What about you, Johnsy?
I don't mind it.
I always ask people that. I'm like, do you like? Because
I don't call it. I don't call it coleslaw though. It's
slaw.
Yeah, it's just slaw from
slaw.
Kentucky Fried.
No.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
granted,
I don't. People ask me. They ask me, is it like KFC slaw? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, is it like that? I'm like, why you? So I always ask people, hey, do you like Kentucky Fried Chicken coleslaw? I don't know why. It's more like, kind of tells me where people are culinary wise, I guess.
Dude, yeah. I eat like anything, like any of that kind of fast food stuff, like in total, burgers, Kentucky Fried, whatever. I eat like maybe 5 times a year. Yeah. And it's like
I don't eat fast food.
It's now or like I got to eat now or never. Most of the time, because we have taco trucks everywhere, I'll just go to a taco truck.
That's the way to go. Yeah, love the street food. It's actually my favorite thing.
Dude.
If I go out to eat, I want to go out and hit one of the taco trucks. We got Oakland here, of course, which is you just got to be careful you get shot when you're going to get your tacos. That's all. Although you're good otherwise, yeah, that's great, man. You got a lot of good stuff out there. Good Mexican food.
Oh, dude, it's like, and there you literally like once you just find a truck, you just stick with that because it's like. Otherwise, you're just like, where should we go to this one? Should we go to that one? Well, they got good this. Well, I don't feel like El Pastor tonight. It's like, dude, they got them everywhere all the time.
Yeah, a lot of choices.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't have here. There's a whole lot of food trucks.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Really?
Exactly.
Where are you at exactly? Like
South Carolina.
South Carolina. There's no food trucks out there at all?
There is, and they got a couple little small food truck parks, but there's probably the same 5 or 6 of them in there all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So, it's not like a plunder of food trucks that you got to choose from throughout town.
Well, you got good whole hog barbecue out there.
We do.
That's killer.
Yeah, we don't have anything like that.
We don't have that here at all.
So I guess
I would trade a few trucks for one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like they just started opening. Like I know the town north of me, Modesto. I'm pretty sure they started building an area for the same kind of deal here. They call it a grub hub.
Yeah.
Not like the app, but where it's just all
the trucks go and
yeah, it's a little nice.
They got one in Hayward. They have one in Hayward now.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
And most of them. There's like a Chinese food one. There's a really good guy. He went to culinary school with a buddy I know, and he opened I'm not gonna be able to. The restaurant's Butcher and Baker, and I can't remember what his truck's called, but he does like crazy off the wall sandwiches, like just different, like a burger, but it's got pulled pork and it's like some crazy slaw like that on it with a bun that they bake there or something. It's top notch, but otherwise it's mostly Mexican food. Delicious, awesome stuff. And it's crazy because I've traveled a little bit and I've been to states where you would think they have good Mexican food, and maybe it's just because I grew up with this Mexican food and it's different over there. I don't know, but I don't eat very much Mexican food if I leave California.
Have you been down to Mexico?
No.
Yeah, so I spent over 12 years every year. I went to Mexico, and now we don't because there's this massive cartel war going down.
Yeah, it's crazy down there now.
And where my folks have a place is in Mazatlan, and
oh, nice.
And it was always if you stay in certain areas, it was safe. It was fine. I walk out at night late. Nobody bothered you. Well, this year they had a massive shootout, like right in Mazatlan downtown.
Yeah.
Blew up a bus. I mean, like in front of the.
Yeah, it was just like, nasty, dude.
Yeah, so my folks were like, we're not going. We're done. I'm just like, oh, great. So, but that's all I would do is when I went down there, I would always eat on the street, everywhere. Never would step in a place to eat it ever because
dude.
You didn't.
And what's crazy down there is like people like open up their garage and like start up a little from like this time to this time. They're a
Yep.
taqueria.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
you'll see it.
that's so cool, man.
Costa Rica was the same way. In Costa Rica, a lot of people, their homes, they have like these grates that are there, and then they're locked. And then 10 o'clock, they'll open the grates up, and you're like sitting in somebody's front porch. Did that in Costa Rica when I was in Costa Rica.
It's probably
But
some of the best food in the world. Yeah.
Best food, I mean, ever. And it's funny because the Mexican food up here compared to when I'm down in Mexico is different. But the reason it's different is because it's not necessarily the technique they're using or who's cooking it. It's the ingredients you get down there. When you look at the butter down there, it does not look like butter up here. They use like real lard. All the stuff down, and of course all the spices and herbs are down there. It's fresh. So that's the big thing. But I love street food, man. I've eaten street food all over when I traveled, and something I enjoy doing. I just won't do it in India. That's all. If I ever go to India, I'm not eating the street food there.
Why is that?
Have you seen how they make street food in India?
The thing, and I love Indian food. That's what sucks. I
do too. I love Indian food. I eat it. We go out Indian food if we want Indian food. But there was a video. I think it was yesterday. I'm getting tons of people comments on it. There's a guy. He's in India and he's cooking, and he's using his hand, and he's continually pouring water over his hand. He's sweating like crazy. He's wiping his face with sweat. And he's like, as he's doing the food, I'm just like, oh, that must be some tasty, salty Indian food. So, and people are like, yeah, I think it was, what's that, Chef something? They post all those videos,
Chef Thought or something like that?
No, it's like, not Chef Table, but it's one of those like names that does these things every day.
Yeah.
And they put this one up and it says, would you eat this vendor or not? And everybody's just like, and they said, we don't want to hear about hygiene or something, because people always say, street food's not safe. It's not hygienic. Well, I'll tell you, everywhere I've had street food, they've always taken care of stuff, or they've had like little plastic, they're like, hey, right, this guy is like sweating like a pig. He's got his hand, he's touching everything in and the bowl, all the stuff. And people are out there and he's handing stuff and then he's taking water. And like every Thursday, he pours hands over his water, but it's going on in the middle of the hot thing he's cooking up.
Oh, jeez, man.
He's washing his hands. No, it's disgusting. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? My parents my folks went to India years ago and they sent pictures. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. There's no way at all. So. So that's it. But I'll eat anything else. So anywhere.
See, and here's the deal. I've not felt good the next day after eating at, I could not tons, but a restaurant or two in my life. Never once from street food. So there you go.
I've never felt sick or nothing. I mean, it's been totally fine. People out, Montezuma's Revenge and stuff. I don't know where they go, but I've never experienced that from Acapulco all the way up to, Mazatlan. So Mexico City, same thing. So
No, I mean even like the food trucks here. With
really?
I have people. I have people who like, you just eat at those? Like, it's like, dude, I literally watch the people pull up and hand them bags of more pork. Like, they don't drive around and scrape cats off the road.
Roadkill.
Yeah, I've heard it all. I have heard it all over the years. Like, well, they just get the cows that die. Like, well, I'm an electrician and I work at the place where those cows go, and not one food truck showed up. So.
Exactly.
I don't know what to tell you. And actually, dude, it's getting harder for them too, because their whole life is based on meat, and meat prices are skyrocketing. Or, you can't buy avocados now because they're all whatever tainted, or you can't buy lettuce anymore because it's it's been recalled or whatever. So it affects them too.
Yeah, I actually just did a podcast on food safety on YouTube, and talking about temperatures and things like that people, they don't really understand food safety. And when I got in a sous vide years ago, that was like the big concern. It's like, what? This meat's in a bag of water that's going to be sitting at 120 something degrees for like 5 hours. Like, are you serious? And of course it's safe, but it's an anaerobic environment. You learn about that stuff, but there's a lot of people that will look at like the USDA guideline chart. They're like, I got to cook my steak at 165. And you're like, and I'm not eating at your place. So it's like, but
ever.
ever. Yeah. But that's because they see that, and what they don't realize is everything's based on time and temperature, not just temperature. So,
Mm-hmm.
without getting into that stuff, but it's so these places that it's safe. They're cooking. I like my meat rare.
Yes.
No more than medium rare. Like that's maximum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand also why meat's best at that temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And that's again the education that I like telling people is that it's the best temperature because that is where the meat is most flavorful. It's the most tender. You haven't got the constriction yet happening. All that stuff. And so a couple of my buddies, they were freaking out. If there was like pink at all, like even like a little red, they're like, dude, I'm not. Can you guys put this in the microwave? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Right? You press like that, like microwave.
Yes.
I'll go put on the grill company. So we're not putting that shit in the microwave. No way.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
like you can eat something else then.
So I did a blindfold test and made them eat. And they're like, "Oh man, this is the best. It's so good." Take it off. They're like, "Oh my god, it's bloody!" It's like, and then you get a call a week later. Went to a steakhouse. Like I ordered medium rare. It was bad. Like I'm never going back that way anymore. Like, it's mental. It's a mental thing.
I have totally changed people's lives with tri-tips out here.
That's my number one. I love tri-tips.
All the time, people are like, "Hey, can you just make sure some of it's more done? I don't like any pink." And I go, "Yes, you do. I promise. You just don't know it yet." And they're like, "No, seriously, I can't." And I go, "Well, then you can microwave it afterwards." Like I'm just rude. Like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not going to ruin a tri-tip because you think you don't like it.
Oh yeah. And, I do
every time,
three cook process.
Every time they eat more of the stuff with pink in it than they do anything else. So it's like, I ignore them now.
Yeah, it's funny. It's fun. I never was like that. I mean, I always did like kind of more of the medium rare, I guess, all the time. But I think it's also how you're growing up and raised. I mean, that's what your folks serve you. That's what you're eating,
Like my mom was like that. She had only had, Frisbees, basically. Her mom couldn't cook very well. And my dad's mom thinks that, like, when she goes, "Oh, I'm going to cook this turkey in the oven, and then I'm going to shred it for tacos." But then she was like, "Then I'm going to put it in the crock pot for 8 hours."
Holy crap.
And my dad immediately calls me. He's like, "Hey, would you mind doing like some carnita pulled pork so we know we can eat something at this?" Like, and like, it sounds bad, Grandma. I'm sorry if you ever see this, but they just like pulverize meat. They just beat it. It's like a Gitmo interrogation is what they do to these meats.
That's crazy, man.
You just squeeze it like Play-Doh, it just sticks together.
Yeah, it's like poof. And so like I guess if that's what you're used to, but like it blows my mind. It blows my mind. People, once you taste, and it's not blood, folks. It is not blood. There's zero blood. They exsanguinate the animal every time. I butcher myself. We do it all the time. All the blood has to come out, or you wouldn't be able to eat the meat.
Nope.
It'd be disgusting and putrid.
That's awesome. You butcher your own meat.
I butcher a pig every year for the last 9 years. Yeah.
I don't butcher, but I just got into buying whole animals a couple years ago. So I've done a pig, which, to be honest, I got a Mangalitsa pig.
Okay.
And
I don't know that. I don't know that breed.
Oh yeah, that's like the Kobe. It's one of the like Kobe's of the pork world, Mangalitsa.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really good. A guy in Northern California actually raised them, and I did one. But you know what? I got so many huge pieces that it's only my wife and I home now. So much huge stuff that I have to invite like a whole bunch of people. And what I end up doing is cooking stuff and giving it to my neighbors. They love me because it's just I can't. I also can't do leftovers for like 4 days in a row. I just can't do that. So I'll do like the next day, and that's maybe the next. That's it. I got to get rid of it. So so that was pretty good. But what I really got into is buying Wagyu cow. So I got my second cow last year. Did one I did one a little about a year before that one. But a buddy of mine raises Wagyu here in Northern California. So
really? Oh shit, nice.
Yeah. I can hook you up, man.
He's
selling. I think November. He's in his ranch is north of Cloverdale, off of 101.
Shit. Yeah.
Beautiful. He's got like 700 acres up there, and the cattle are just roaming around a good life. He's got pigs up there. You can go pig hunting. I haven't gone with him yet, but we are going to go one of these times, I think, for that. But
that's
I didn't know
my
about
other
butchering,
jam
so I
right
had to
there.
learn about all that. Yeah, I had to do all the research, and I talked to a bunch of my buddies on Instagram. I'm like, hey, they're butchers, and I just said, hey, like, what do I ask? Like, what do I ask for? I mean, I know there's a lot more obviously than ribeye in New York. It's all sorts of cuts. You want skirt steak, you want inner, you want outer, like all these different things. So that was a really educational experience. So I just put a massive post on my blog about this, about Wagyu, and also the big marketing kind of, let's say, not necessarily being so truthful what they're actually selling and calling it Wagyu. Because all Wagyu means it's just cow.
Interesting,
It's
yeah.
just Japan. It's just cow, right? So,
Yeah.
so I have a whole great detailed thing on it, including all the BMS scoring, how they score it. So yeah, if you check it out on my blog, you'll see the big thing I did on Wagyu this last week. So, but I love, yeah, I bought an entire Wagyu cow.
Look at the
It
next
was
one.
alive. It was alive actually, and I had it processed. They kill it out in the field, and then they had to take it to the Miss Scrooge. No. Oh, and it's called investing and saving your money and spending it wisely. I actually went with a buddy because it is expensive as hell. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went with a friend. But let me tell you something. A half of the cow. I think we ended up with about, our yield was about almost 800 pounds. That was the yield. So we each had almost 400 pounds. Yeah, we had almost 400 pounds. Includes the bones too. I wanted the bones, so we got that. But I had to buy a second. I had to have two freezers. It filled up literally two of my freezers. And I still have some. I mean, it lasts. Everything's double back sealed and stuff. But I really got to learn how to fill out a cut sheet, right? That's something that is very intimidating when somebody first looks at it, because there's 100 things on there to pick from.
Oh yeah, stuff you never heard of. You're like, well, maybe I do want that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, well, how do you want your bones cut? Do you want flanking? Do you want this? I'm like, I don't know what. Just cut them this way so I can make bone in the pizza oven.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah. So anyways, that's how I will be doing my meat now. Is I typically, if I have to get, all my steaks are gone. So if I have to get steaks, what I'll do is I order a whole primal now, and then I'll actually dry age it, and then I'll cut that, and that's my steak supply until the next time.
So all those dry age stuff we see, you're doing that yourself then?
Yeah, I do all my own dry aging.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So do you have like a fridge set up for that? A separate dry aging unit? Okay.
I have. Yeah, it's an NSF fridge, but it's not for dry aging. It just happens to work the way it's got fans in it that actually evac air. But I always still use. I load it up with baking soda. I got to use baking soda containers in there. Otherwise, it will stink to high heaven.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing, and my minimal time now, I'm about a 45-day dry age. That's the earliest I really want to pull it. So 45 to 65 days is my sweet spot.
Yeah,
it depends if I'm impatient.
65-day one.
Oh God, and that flavor is like, I said, depends if I get impatient or not. Like if it's 45 days, it's like I can't wait any longer. So
see, like that's my thing.
You want to wait another 20 days? I'm like, no, we're doing it right now.
Yeah,
I've wanted to do it so bad, but then I just have to sit and watch this whole ribeye just
hanging
forever.
out.
Like, dude, I bet you it'll still taste good today. It'll probably still taste good today. I'll do the next one longer. Like, I already know.
That's how I started first. I was like 28 days. And I'm like, I don't really taste the difference. That was a waste of time. Then it would hit like 35 days. I'm like, oh, I noticed the big, 35 days. I'm like, okay. And then I did one at 120 days once, and it was like, it was a little too funky for me, at 120.
Exactly.
Owen has a lot of two day dry days.
Yeah. Hey, salt brining, like dry brining with the salt. That's like,
yeah,
I'm good for that.
Man. It's funny. I've never done that. I've never done
really?
the dry. Never did a. I've never done it. I don't know why, but yeah.
The craziest thing to me about it is I've put like extra choice cuts of meat one time. Like I'm like, oh man, I should have looked at this a little bit better. Like no intermuscular. It's like pinkish red. I'm like, God, whatever. Are you sure this isn't select? Like, but I'll salt brine it, and dude, I'll pull it out, and all of a sudden it looks like really good beef, and there's more more intermuscular fat than I saw before. I'm like,
Wow.
I know it just didn't grow fat in there. So,
So,
I
so you do it
don't
for
know
like
what.
what, 2 days, 1 day? Like how? What do you?
I
You
always,
coat the whole thing in salt?
yeah, no. So I take just Morton's kosher salt and just put a good layer on all sides. I don't
Okay.
like. I'll maybe pat it a little bit one side when I go to flip it to do the other side just so it stays on. But sometimes I'll do it with an SPG rub and just do it on. And the other stuff doesn't penetrate like the salt. The salt will completely disappear and just pull in.
Right.
So you do have to be careful if you forget. I forgot one time to not use a real heavy salt rub, and it was a wee
Extract all the
bit
water out of
salty.
it?
Yeah, wee bit salty after that, because all that salt it pulls all the moisture out like you were gonna like brine it,
Yeah.
Right.
and then but it doesn't have anywhere to go. There's not a bag to collect it, so it sits on top of the meat and just goes right back. Now it's salt water soaking back, or salt
Right.
myoglobin or whatever soaking back in, and I do it like 99% of the time I cook beef now.
24 hours?
Yeah, I'm always at least a 2 day. Bigger ones, I'll go like I've gone like 3-4 days before with some big stuff. I've dry brine briskets. I like it.
Interesting.
Could I tell you it's a
Yeah,
huge difference? No, because I don't do it without it anymore. So, but I know in the beginning, I just liked it a lot. So
Yeah,
I just
when
do
you're
it
dry
now.
aging and when you're dry aging the meat, and you're doing a true dry aging, you pull the thing out. It's like you cook it with nothing and you finish it off with mud salt. That's it. I put nothing else on it. It's just mind blowing. I would
Yeah,
never
see,
even put like a barbecue rub or something like that. You're just going to destroy all that flavor. You just worked so hard letting that meat break down and get that pellicle on the top, and it's just sealing everything inside there, and again, that meat just so tender and flavorful, and that has a huge burst of umami. I just love that umami flavor you get out of that thing.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I want to try. And my other thing is at least, and maybe you could shed some light on this. When I've watched tons of videos on it, I noticed that if you're doing a smaller piece of meat, you lose a lot more. It seems like the bigger.
Well, you actually lose, period. So you're going to lose about 40% on, like you do 65 day. I lose about 40% on my primal, rib roast. Or if I do a New York primal, then it's about 40% weight loss. So it's hefty. So if you do a little piece like this, it'll be like a marble.
That's what I'm saying.
You want to age a big piece
the
of
whole thing.
You want to age the whole thing, right? And then you can cut it, how you want when you're done with it. But you need a pretty good, if you want to get anything substantial. Otherwise, you'll get an aged piece of meat, but you're going to cut so much of the pellicle around it off. You're going to end up with this little tiny, piece of meat at the end.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. That's why if you go to aging rooms, you'll see they have the huge, 7-bone,
it's massive chunks.
Prime ribs in there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why. Otherwise, they would do it small if they could, but it gets pretty tough to do it small.
Yeah, I need to check into that.
So
it's not hard. Yeah, it's not hard.
See, the thing about there's a thing about dry aging that I wonder about, and like companies that say their beef is dry aged and stuff, because like I see like companies are in the store. I'll go like, oh, this is so from whatever ranch somewhere, and it's dry aged, and I look at it, I go, not possible. That's the same size ribeye I get from every piece of cow. Where did they lose any of it? How could it be dry aged? And there's a thing, like when you butcher a cow, at least that's what all the people that I work with around here do, is it has to go to the meat locker and hang for like 20 something days minimum, like 23 days or something.
So mine hung for 28 days.
Yeah. Okay. So are they counting that as a dry age? I know.
Don't know, but the processing place I was at told me that they have to hang it, and it'll hang for 28 days. Mm-hmm. But they said, but it is not dry aged. So I mean, it's super refrigerated, right? Like almost free to keep it super cold. Mm-hmm. But that's not dry aging, just that, right? You got to have all the conditions for it and everything. So so I don't know. It's a good thing. I mean, I can definitely tell at a restaurant I won't order anything when they say it's 28-day dry age. They're charging a premium for that. 28 days means nothing. I'm not.
You already know that. Come on. Just give me
You
the
want-
prime.
28 days, they say the reaction starts like at day 7 or 8, but really what I have found is unless you go at least 28 or longer, you don't really even start tasting that flavor change till after 28 days. The 28 days does do some tenderizing, but if you like that dry age flavor, you're not going to get it.
That's what I want to experience.
Yeah. So you can do it. It's real simple, man. Get me one of these days off the show. I'll tell you how to do it. It's not complicated at all, and you can do it in a regular fridge. If you have a fridge with enough space, I'll tell you how to do it. You can do it. You got to burp your fridge. You got to open your fridge up every day though. But other than that, for 65 days.
I'll just use my beer refrigerator.
That'll be perfect. Yeah.
Great question. Is wet aging a thing? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is a thing.
As far as I understand it, best of my knowledge, again, I'm just a novice here. It doesn't do anything in the way of flavor. It's a tenderizing deal. Okay.
Yeah, that's my understanding too. I mean, I know that I've seen some retail places will sell meat that's aged. When you ask them, they'll say it was wet aged, not dry aged.
Yeah. I mean, I did it once, and it not on purpose. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna wet age this. My brother-in-law did it. They own a meat company for a long time, a huge top 520 meat company for a lot of years, and he would do it. He would bring home and like, oh, I'm aging that. Oh, I'm aging that. But it was always in the cryovac still, right? Whatever. And I don't know. I just don't know that much about. He obviously knows way more about meat than I do. He did it for a living for years, but I did it accidentally with some beef ribs one time because I had ordered. It was 2 in 1 cryovac, so I cut it in half, cooked one, vacuum sealed the other one, and then I don't know how, I forgot, ADHD, whatever, but I just I need to cook those. Oh, I need to cook those tomorrow. Oh, I need to cook those tomorrow for a while, and then I'm like, holy, these are still in here. I have to cook these today. And I'm like, please don't be bad. Please don't be bad. And I open it. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, wet aging.
Give it a sniff.
Yeah. Funky smell. And it's not bad. You will know when meat's bad. Your body will absolutely let you know when something is rotten. I promise. But it was
it like the pickle herring you had?
Oh, that Surströmming? Lord, no.
Dude, when you did the Surströmming, I was laughing my ass off. I watched the and I was like, I loved it. I was like, why does this only have 150 views? This should have 150,000 views.
What's crazy?
Dry heaving and stuff. Did you throw up when they actually put that? They put the block over you. Were you thrown up at that point? Something came on the screen. Look, you turn around, you were bent over, and then they put a square over so you couldn't see what was going on.
Oh, they did. I didn't see that part. Oh,
you see that? Oh, yeah. Oh my God, it was hilarious. I was laughing. My wife's like, "What are you laughing? What's so funny?" I'm like, "You got to see this guy. He's trying to eat the surface and he's throwing up."
And I got all because I had the 2 pieces down because my buddy. I just had to take one bite on camera live. That was the first deal.
I thought it was 5 minutes. Yeah.
That's what snowballed into. And then so my buddy's sitting there talking to me, and he's like, you should just do 2. And I was like, no way, dude. I already know. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get the first one in my mouth. All the videos I've seen, and I don't even eat canned tuna. I love tuna, but I don't eat meats out of a can. It's just nasty to me. So this was it's like the Chernobyl of canned meats.
I thought. Did you when you crack it? You just crack it oh God! And by the way, why did you have that plastic all over you? What was that about?
Because all the other videos when they open them, it sprays everywhere.
Oh.
So the official way to open it, we looked it up later, is they fill up like a tub and they sink it in water and open it underwater. Yeah,
because of all the gases from that fermentation.
Yeah, because it's fermentation and putrefaction because they put it in as soon as they pull it out, so it's decaying too.
Right.
Oh my God, and I got my buddy goes, he's all, dude, if you can get 2 bites down, I'll give you $200. And I was I'm like, F it, yeah, 200 clams, man. I'll do it. Let's go. But then he was like, dude, it can't just be like you eat it. This is $200. So then it turned into a 5-minute thing. And I was always going to drink the pickle juice, but I was going to take a little shooter of pickle juice, eat them, and then drink some pickle juice. He goes, hey, look, here it is. No first shot of pickle juice, 2 bites, 5 minutes. You got to, and I'm like, oh man, do it.
I saw the pickles there on the table.
Yeah, in the middle of getting all hyped up off the 2 bites and the time counting down, I grab another piece, and that's where everything went back.
That's weird.
Dude, it was so funny. Oh my god. If I'm having a bad day, I'm just gonna watch that video and just laugh.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Weirdly enough,
When's Damon gonna do that? I want to see Damon do that.
No, sir.
Yeah,
No, sir.
no.
They don't make no more. We're good.
They don't make
John's
I
a crazy
can
one.
get it to you.
No, sir.
It'll take about a month, but I'll get it to you.
I'll pass.
They don't even know that I'm bringing, like, we got a meetup happening in
Oh.
September, first Dude
Oh,
Network
okay.
meetup, and I'm
All right.
they don't know I'm bringing some. Everybody's gonna try it.
Awesome.
I
Make
won't
sure you
even
video
do it.
that.
I won't even do it again. It's funny because I don't like beans, refried beans. Like I cannot eat them. I can't wash dishes that have it on. It's like I have a really bad gag reflex, and beans have just made the top of that list.
Wow.
And,
Only refried though.
No. I only eat green beans and lima beans. That's it.
Oh,
And
wow.
jelly and Boston baked beans, but we all know those are candies. But all my buddies were like, they're like, dude, we gotta get him to eat his beans if he eating this. And I go, look, dude, straight up, I knew the surgery was gonna be bad, but it was a life experience. I'd never had it before. I know what beans are, and I know how my body is with beans. We'll have to talk thousands before I put a
Good
spoonful
night.
of beans in my mouth. No way. Oh, I'm a
So now we know
weirdo,
the
though, I
Johnsy
guess.
bean challenge.
Oh, they
That's right.
always mess with me constantly. You should see our group text threads with all of our friends. It's just like everyone, oh, Johnson making chili again. And they're like pouring the beans in. Like,
That's awesome.
oh. Well, man, we usually try and keep this at about an hour and a half, and we made it.
We're there, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
fun.
an absolute pleasure talking
Thank you
with
guys
you.
so
I
much.
can't
It was
wait for
a lot- absolutely.
these like instructional kind of in-depth history behind videos you're talking about doing more and more of.
Yeah,
That's-
I just started my first one.
Hey,
We'll see how it goes.
so-
YouTube
Yeah.
takes a while. We need the long ones. It's kind of like it's like an investment, right? It's got to sit over time, and then
It's a-
eventually, hopefully,
It's a
takes
grind.
off,
It's
yeah.
a grind.
it's
YouTube's
a
a grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What were you gonna say, Damon?
Oh, I was gonna say. I mean, you covered a lot. I mean, what's 23 look like
Mhm.
for you? I mean, plug all your stuff.
So, yeah. So, well, 23. I mean, it's great. I'm writing a rebranding right now. So my logo has changed. I've got
Yep.
new intros that just came in from someone that I've been working with today. They look amazing. So for the video intros, chapter animation, all this stuff's going to be changed for YouTube.
Ooh,
So that's
nice.
kind of what I'm doing for 2020. Each chapter when it changes, instead of like just a black screen with a word, I have like an animated part of my logo that'll go. So I'm just trying to make it a little more, kind of nicer, more polished, I guess, production.
Yeah.
I've got a new camera that I'm using to shoot a lot of the stuff with, which makes a huge difference.
DSLR
and then-
or mirrorless?
Mirrorless.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I think that's
shooting
what I'm gonna
mirrorless.
go with too.
Yeah, and then this camera does 6K, so it's like feature proof. Like you
Yeah.
can't even see 4K on social media. It's all, I think 1080p is the most you'll see basically. But you can see 4K on YouTube, and that's what I'm doing it for.
Bingo.
So
Yeah.
all my full videos are all 4K, so totally crisp resolution on that one.
Yeah.
And then really, I got another. I'm working on. I've gotten calls from a bunch of companies I've been doing content for, not Instagram. Stuff they're using for their own marketing, which is kind of nice and fun. And they've seen that from Instagram.
Yeah, that's a neat
Instagram's
little
been nice.
other side. You don't
So-
hear about that kind of stuff too much. It's
Mhm.
always for, just put it on your social media.
Yeah. No,
That's,
so
that's cool.
I've been
They
doing that
want
for some
you
companies.
for them, their stuff.
Yep, I've done a bunch of them recently, which is a lot of fun. But I have to like the product, so I get the product, I look at it, I use it. If I don't like it, then they all know that I'm not going to do it. I have to be passionate about it.
Yes.
And I had a couple I wasn't crazy about. I said, I can't get into this. I'm really sorry, and I'll send it back to you, whatever. And but most of them are really good, and So I'm doing that. That's kind of the one thing that, it doesn't show a lot on social media. And then I have my sponsors that are from my social media. They're fantastic. They're just amazing, all of them. I've visited a bunch of them last year. So 2023 for the rest of the year is going to be a little slow. My daughter's getting married in September, so
congrats.
everything, all the finances are going to the wedding. So
Yes.
that's the main thing.
That's a whole deal.
But I've
man.
already got. It's a whole deal, man. Let me tell you something. I can get a killer smoker for what it costs to loan.
Right.
I get like
You
a
could
big. I get
you
a
can
Oilers
drive
from
on
Texas,
this one.
man.
Dude,
I
you
want a
can
Texas
start
Oilers big in my room. Man.
Yeah, you can start businesses with what it takes to do a
Exactly,
wedding nowadays,
exactly.
dude. It's
Exactly. I
crazy.
know. Tell me about it, man. So that the rest of the year won't be a lot of like travel stuff. Now next year is already lining up. I'll be heading back down to Louisiana, Alabama.
Awesome.
I think Florida. So 2024 is gonna be the year I'm really gonna be doing a lot of traveling. Just gonna be on the road a lot. But this year's kind of rebranding, new logos, all that other stuff, getting all my new equipment, everything ready to go for kind of the next step. Yeah,
So
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. All good stuff. We heard you say that you're going to make the big push to YouTube, but everybody can find you on all the regular platforms, I'm assuming.
Yep, I'll always be everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all at Ukulele BBQ.
Yeah, it's all down here in the ticker.
Yep, that looks awesome. And surprisingly, I post TikTok, but it doesn't seem to get much because I don't do like crazy stuff, to people like that. But I'll tell you something, man. I've been going live on Friday nights on TikTok. That's what I've been doing, my Friday night pizzas and stuff. Unbelievable, explosive. I mean, 3,000 to 14,000 people every single live. And like Instagram, just there's not people on there looking at the stuff. So, but anyways, yeah. So it's really pushed to that to a more unified platform where I can tie everything together between my website ukulelegbbbq.com, YouTube, a new podcast, which is going to be the podcast I'm doing is going to be the informational one. A lot of it's me providing information versus interviewing because you got great guys like you doing interviews, and it's like it's just going out there and trying to get people to do interviews, which I did 1 year. It's a lot of work you guys do. I mean, getting hold of people. I mean, you probably know, right? They cancel, can't make it this weekend. It's like,
or you like what we did this month. A shout out to Wee Bit Quirky. We stacked up and was able to fill up most of the month, but not the beginning of the month. But as it's getting closer, like who do you ask? Like, hey, can you do this tomorrow?
Yeah.
And it's all part of that game, It's all part of it.
Yeah. But I enjoy watching because I enjoy watching those, the interview ones, more so than me doing the interview part of it. So I'm gonna go more to a kind of a, the one man. I'll have interviews as well with, mostly I'm gonna try to have like CEOs of companies in the barbecue food industry. That's kind of who I'll be talking to.
Nice.
But that's kind of my push to my more educational stuff on, why do you do this? How do you sous vide, and get into talking about that, and not only the full videos, but the podcast will be something somebody can take in the car and listen to and actually absorb information. So I'm gonna try it out. We'll see. It'll be a flop, but who knows? But it'll be fun. That's all that matters.
Absolutely, man.
Real quick, we're gonna show this off for you. Here's Jay's website.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, get
the
over
logos
there.
there. Thanks.
Yep.
Man. Yeah.
There's a new one. Simple recipes, blogs, sponsors, all the stuff. He's got his own podcast. He's a trivia. He does all kinds. He's got all kinds of stuff going on, man. So get on over there, check all of his stuff out. YouTube, like I said, Facebook. What were we just talking about? TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, and always remember, man. You need anything, let me know. And smoke out, baby.
All right. Everybody, don't forget this Thursday, Friday, and we'll be back Sunday for another foodie show right here